So right now,
Yeah.
you guys looked like you had energy at the last TA, at the last transition, because you were still. I wrote an article about you at the TA, and you still had energy. You know, you were still. I said you were still making sense when you talked to me.
Okay.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, well done. Well done. You have a lot of people right now, of course, your friends and your family, but on Sleep Monsters right now, the news for you guys is like, of course, right? And you guys were kind of sleeping, and I was speaking to Martin about the World Championships. That wasn't your target this year, because the team is so new. Yeah. But what do you think? Because now you've won this event, is it maybe a possibility?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. We have to sort out the economics. perhaps.
Sure.
Have a discussion with the sponsors.
Yeah.
But now your value's gone up, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It was a nice debut for our team.
Yeah. And you're racing with Swedish Armed Forces, right?
Yes.
So how was it to race with these guys?
Yeah, they're three strong guys, so it was no problem at all. Just going on as usual.
Are you? Of course, your team is the Swedish Armed Forces.
Yes.
But if they manage to enter the World Championships, you'll be racing against them,
Yeah.
right? Is there anything you could tell us about these three men?
No. They are actually three strong guys, and they are quite equal. So that I think it's a strength for them. That they are. Their lowest level is really high, so they just need to find a girl. And
All the time, right?
no, so they can compete.
Yeah, because speaking to Martin, he was speaking for all of them, I'm sure, saying that you are very, very good, and they're going to miss you if they do manage to race in the World
Maybe they
Championships.
won't miss me because I'm really pain in the ass sometimes. No. But I've been racing for a couple of years, so.
And this event that you would, Martin was mentioning that you considering doing a stage race in China later this year, in autumn.
Yeah.
What race is that? Do you know the name?
They haven't come with a calendar yet. So.
Okay, so it's just maybe, and you have a lot to discuss.
Ja.
Isn't it the Wollon?
Ja, Pengju och
Okay.
Wengen.
Yeah, we will sit down and plan for the rest of this year and next year. So many more.
This was a start-up year.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do one adventure race, and now we did. And we won.
So, and what about next year?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Of course, right? I know it's premature.
Yeah.
I know it's premature, but just your experience of this race, right?
Expedition Africa is good. Very good.
Very good.
Everything is good. Yeah.
Do you do you know Heidi's favorite expression, or the expression that Heidi's become known for?
I think so.
Yes, which is
Amazing.
yeah.
Very loud.
Love.
It's all about love.
Love.
It's all about love. So, if you compare this race, you've all done many races.
Yeah, I've been racing here in 2013 or 14 in the Drakensburg.
2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Hachler.
Sweco.
Sweco.
Yes. And when they asked me, like 3 days before we were going, and they said they were going to Africa, okay, but yeah, Africa, I can go because I know it's something totally different than the other races in the World Series. Just the organization, both Heidi and Stefan and all the volunteers during the transition areas. Yeah, it's a nice experience as a racer. So
Yeah, that's very important as a racer to be able to trust the organizers
Yeah.
that the race you're going to, because obviously it's a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of training, that you can only pick so many races in a year.
no.
So if another team is looking for next year, because we already know the location for next year, which will be completely different to this one, right? But so what would you say to those racers who are considering this event?
Go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Possibly.
They might have ice cream at the finish.
That's
Has anybody
a-
brought you ice cream or toothbrushes yet?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But we got
It
pizza.
sounds pretty good too.
Yeah.
For the locals and offering up food and heading up the schools and things like that.
When you do races and you go into the transition, and there's, we know, the food, maybe some drinks or something. I mean, the way Heidi and Stefan run this race is that concept of family, and the local community of people, who have no knowledge of adventure racing are completely fixated. They're focused on what is happening here, and some of them have already said they're sad that it's not going to be here next year, of course, because they now know what adventure racing is. If we look at the different transitions, what we saw from our perspective was communities competing to be the best transition,
Okay.
right? Which for me, I've never seen that before, right? I'm used to it in ultra running, but not in adventure racing.
Okay.
Did you notice anything, or how did you feel at those transitions?
Very warm, warm feeling and welcoming. So,
I didn't reflect like that it was too much differences, but when you say it, I can think of this, that it was like that a little bit.
Yeah, because for you, you're coming into transition and you're focused on what you need to do.
But still, I think there's no other races that the volunteers carry your bag or offer you, like, do you want coffee, do you want tea, are you sure you don't want anything more? And I haven't seen that in so many races. So, and it's the same in every TA, so I can see that they definitely are competing. And the one with the strawberries won.
I think the one who we got the song in the car.
Yeah, and all the when they come together and sing when we're changing clothes and pick up the bikes, and they're just standing there and singing for us. So never been.
it doesn't feel too good when she runs standing and singing very beautiful, and I undress and show my arse.
But they're still singing.
Yeah, they kept on singing.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have seen that before.
No.
They wouldn't have seen that before. Well, anybody else? Any other questions?
Do they have a message for the team that is the last one?
Yeah, that's. I mean, you guys have done so well on this course. Right, you've set an excellent time, and we were worried. We didn't know who was going to win, but we were encouraging. We wanted you to win, or to. There's so many teams around you, but we're very pleased for your success. There are teams out there, of course, who are going to take a few more days to arrive. What message would you give to them?
They have many beautiful sections ahead of them, so just keep going and never give up and have a good time.
Yeah, and they're really hard when they keep on going for so long. It's a time.
Yeah.
It's a time that is the worst.
They are the real heroes.
And just being outside for 5-6 days is tough.
Yeah.
It's easier if you have lots of speed, really, because you don't get that tired.
Yeah.
And what state are your feet in right now? Because at transition, when I looked at Martin's feet, they were in excellent shape.
Yeah,
They're
still-
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still are.
That's good. Well,
I don't know, just lucky.
Yeah, we haven't written them especially.
No.
Not on the course.
No.
So maybe the race was too easy.
we didn't go. No, it wasn't easy.
No, it was
But,
nice stages that became a bit rough in the end, and that's nice. It goes pretty smoothly, and then it gets epic in the end.
The second
Second
motorbike stage was pretty. That was pretty epic stage.
What did you think about the vampire cactuses?
They jumped at you.
We had how many
Seven.
punctures? 7 punctures.
Yeah.
So not
Did
too
you have
good.
tubeless or tubes?
Yeah,
Tubeless.
I had tubeless, but I broke the cap on the rock. It got broken, so I had to put in a tube,
Yeah.
and it punctured 6 times. Yeah.
So we didn't have the perfect race.
No.
No.
No,
No,
never.
no one's had a perfect race.
So if there's one thing that you can remember or take away from this race, right? What is there one thing that stands out? I know it's very recent. It was very soon for me to ask you that question, but in a word, even.
At a canyon in Bavian was the I think it was the best. It was beautiful and long, pretty warm and cold, wet, and very warm at the end when we were hiking down the mountain, and rough. And Stefan standing laughing as usual. That's the most fun.
I would say Heidi and Stefan, how they treated us and all the people in the race. So that's special. So, yeah. I will remember that for further on.
And Simon, anything for you?
It was special. It was just special to race together with these guys. We've never raced together before, and Marlin was super good, just fit right in perfectly. So just the whole experience being outside for a couple of days together, it's such an adventure. It's tough and it's fun and it's hard and it's boring, and then when you put it all together, it's so nice.
And Martin?
Yeah, I agree with Jonas. The section in the pavilions, and then just as a new member of a new team, I was treated really well during the race and before the race. So, yeah.
We asked Marlin like 4 days before we went.
No way.
Yeah.
It was a short nose stage.
Very casual.
Yeah.
So, as guys, what would you say specific strengths are that you look for in a female team member?
Everything that Marlin has.
Okay, so let's do some more skills then.
Sorry.
What makes you a really strong adventure racer as a girl that sets you aside as a woman from the men?
I used to say I'm happy and stupid, and that's a really good combination in adventure racing. But no, I don't know actually.
What
Just
role
have-
do you think a female adventure racer brings to the team? Everybody in the team has a
Yeah.
position. So you have the pack horse, you have the navigator, you
Yes.
have
Most common, I think, is logistic, because we think in a different way. So, and we can think like stages ahead, and have many things in the head at the same time. So, I don't know.
well,
Maybe
thanks,
that's the
guys. I think you have a well-deserved toothbrush and shower waiting for you. And go and enjoy that big tub of ice cream that we've arranged for you.
Nice.
Well done and congratulations.
Thanks.
for being here.